Hello, hello, hello. A very good morning to you all. A very, very good morning to you all. Yes, 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 yes. That's going to be the picture of the day. The picture of the day is right there on the screen. My name is Daddy Chris, and this is Rise and Shine on the African Renaissance Television. I'm reaching you out from London this morning. Of course, you know my team will be joining me greatly. Beautiful Mary is waiting right there in the studio in Abuja, and I know Asaba will be joining us. But let me quickly add Mary because I don't have time. The studio is buzzing, and we're going to keep to time today. And we're going to try and follow up as it's supposed to be. So I'm going to make it quick. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Daddy Chris.
How are you?
I'm fine. It seems it's going to be very hot. This one you started with 2027 election.
It is. So it got to be hot. It got to be hot. I'm getting excited because sometimes I begin to wonder where are we in this country? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Are we progressing in democracy? But really, there's something. Maybe we judge ourselves sometimes too harsh. Eh? We're making some progress though, and people now there's more awareness in terms of our democratic processes than before. Every kid is now aware. Everybody shouting Tinubu, Buhari, Tinubu, and good luck. So they are aware that
Because eyes are now opened. You know, when they said
they're
when
getting
it's
wider, maybe the
it's
hunger
telling on everybody. So
is
small
making
and
us
big,
wake up.
everybody now understands.
And is it the only
No, no,
downside
no.
of it is we have a president who has not even completed the 4 years. Now he's thinking of we are now talking of the next. But when it's time for
Unlike,
government, and maybe
unlike
after
this.
27 election, we took it for the next election. Is it only by election, maybe?
And because that is what it looks as if that is where the interest is. It's about election. It's about knowing who will be there, right?
Yes.
And also the masses, on the other hand, I think election is another thing that matters because they want to know who is that person that will be there the next time to still rule us. Are we going to still face this kind of hardship? Is it going to be the same or is it going to take a different face? So these are things that cause for worry. People want to know the quest of people wanting to know who will be there. But it's not about knowing who will be there. How are we planning to put in the right person there? That is another thing that we need to start considering. It's going to be so hard for that. Over the years, we'll be talking about 2027 election. Over time, we'll be talking about 2027 election. We are planning whereby we are not planning right. It's another thing to plan, and it's one thing to plan rightly. Are we really ready to plan rightly, or we're just going to go there and
And do
start
the same thing.
start collecting
Well, if I
that?
look at the faces of these guys that matters last time, you understand? And then one is wondering now, are they still matter? Are they the one that matters today? Eh?
Trevor is coming now, so we are going to add him to it. It's coming.
Sorry,
Yes, it's coming.
coming to do what?
So you think he was going for those protests just for free? I don't understand that, Chris. When you go, they'll tell you. So maybe before it was Tinubu, Atiku,
No,
and Peter
so they
Obi.
haven't got
Now it
the.
is
I
people
don't
that
think so. Well, I
maybe
don't
that's
think they
so
got the.
they feel like this one that came out of the field to protest. So is someone for the youth, and all
Yes.
of that. But let's see. Let's see. They are all planning for
It would have
2027
been
election.
nice to see another angle. Somebody is not too young. It's not the young one we're looking for anyway. I said I'm told it's about 50 something years old because I'm looking for the boy of before 40. Anyway, that's my projection. Well, someone having got the it's more of a rebel, which is good. It's calling for the revolution, which is good. It's I would say somebody to be acting as a checks and balance to government, a good critic, somebody will cry to, when there's trouble. But that is it.
But is that not what he's doing?
It
That's
doesn't
what
but
he's
it
doing.
translate to
That's what
presidential
they're all doing.
presidency. But it doesn't translate to being a good president. I mean, we're not blind anymore. We want to see things happen now. Let's see, like Asaba is joining us quickly. Good morning, Asaba. Chief Baka. Asaba, we always
Good
have.
morning, sir.
How are you? This your network, eh? There was something we must do to
No,
Asaba.
Asaba is loud and clear.
Well,
Asaba
Asaba
is
need
loud
to get the
and
community of
clear.
safety.
We are hearing you. We are hearing Mary from Abuja.
All
Good
right,
morning,
that's good.
sir.
It's a yes. Mary is standing between us. That's good. So Mary will try and coordinate, something the ground.
Asaba
Otherwise,
is loud and clear.
yeah, it could be loud.
Good morning, Mary.
Yes.
Good morning,
So
Mr. Obaka.
I came up with this image quickly this morning because we don't have a lot of time. We want to make it briefly so that we have time for some newspaper review, which Obaka will handle. But what I want to do is this. Let's take a look at these three men. Are they still relevant today? Are they one looking for? That was my question.
Very
First
good
question.
morning.
Really said
How
that.
you doing?
Huh?
That is, they are relevant in their own way. It's not like Peter Obi is not bringing out his voice. Sometimes he criticizes what the government is, what they are doing. But people feel like maybe I'm just telling you what people think. Maybe it's not
Yes.
good enough. You know, people like action. People like that person that will come out and show himself. You know, one thing that I feel like made sure gain love from people, but it's not that he could come out during the protest, not just that he came out during the protest, during the protest, right? And spoke against what he feels needs to be changed in the country, right? And you know, there was a time when he was talking about that. Let's just see that with time, people will begin to come out more than the way they do come out during the protest. You understand? So we need to have a larger crowd, even though we know that people do not really have interest for it. By the end of the day, the protest happened. I will not say it has happened and nothing has changed. The thing is, I believe it still calls for awareness for people to know that the citizens are not happy. Citizens need they need uh, they need a better change. They need some things to change in the country. Just like you said, unlike before, people are now coming out to speak. People are now coming out to complain about how they need accountability, transparency, right, and communication in the system. You understand? So just like
Yes.
you said, the topic is 2027 election.
Yes.
They've started now.
Yes.
We, we say it might still not be early, but the plan is beyond what we think. The reason they started now is because they want to make sure they put everything in place for who will emerge the winner in 2027.
No,
And we
now,
see
now
see-
let's look at them one by one, baby.
okay.
Maybe let's throw this one to Ubaka. Ubaka, do you this guy so already have done so well as a calling for revolution? Does that
Yeah.
translate to a presidential candidate in your book? No, sometimes I can't hear also. Do you have speakers in the studio? Sometimes it's really frustrating when you try to talk to Asaba. Anyway,
You know that lady that came out that time that was complaining about what she was seeing during her service time. I
yes,
think Ray or what was that her name? Her PPA, right?
yes,
How even the NGI hardly comes to
yes.
their PP and all of that. And the way she was complaining and the expensive nature of things. You know, so Ray went there as well. Went to a place of
No, so what's the difference between Sowore and Very Dark Man? Sorry.
it's not somebody that just wants to stay back in the office. He wants to
Mary,
come out in the
yeah, but Mary, what's the difference? Is Sowore more effective than Very Dark Man? That's the question I asked. The question I asked is, does this translate to being a presidential candidate? That's my
like
question.
he's preparing for 2027 election. You should know.
Yes, I hear what you say.
How is Peter Obi preparing his own? How is Atiku preparing his own? They all have their different strategies.
Exactly,
So
I agree.
it depends
Agree.
on how they want people to see them. You understand? He
Yes.
has been there since, and I believe he's not just coming out now. But I think Sowore is now more active. Everything has to do with 2027 election. So who will buy your mind based on what you think they've done in the
Yeah.
past? Who you think
Yes.
merited? I know that
Yeah.
you have always put Peter Obi. Even
For
though
the,
now
for
you
the matter of the person calling for revolution, the best one we're looking for then is Sowore.
I think I know you've always loved Peter Obi, but
Chief
even
Baka.
you said it.
No,
You
no,
said it on the
I
show.
was one. I attack Peter when I need to. I attack any candidate. I don't know whether I'm in love with anybody. My projection is I don't want Peter again. I want a boy who's less than 30, who's less than 40 years old. That's what I'm saying. I don't need an old man like me. Anyway, Ubaka, Chief Ubaka, let's put us on the spot. Can you hear us?
Okay.
Can you hear us, sir?
Yeah, I'm hearing. I want to think the topic has to do with 2027
No.
and
I'm asking.
the political
Yes,
moves that
that ongoing. Yes. Then I push it down to Sowore. We are now with Sowore. I asked if you think
yeah. What's the question?
My question was, I asked first, are the three wise men still relevant? Then he said yes. Then very reminded of the Sowore. Then I brought Sowore out and I said, do you think Sowore is a viable presidential candidate? What do you think about him? Sowore himself.
Okay, there are people that are caught out for administration, and so they can be taken seriously when it comes to issues of administration. There are people that are also caught out for some level of agitation.
Yes.
We had in Nigeria the likes of Tai Solari. Tai Solari was perpetually protesting. And it got to a point where even a military administrator in the person of Ibrahim Babangida had to open up, establish a People's Bank and made him the chairman of People's Bank.
Yes.
But we are also abreast with the history of how the People's Bank ran under him.
Yes.
The likes of Gani Fawemi, yes, he ran a successful chamber. The likes of Wole Soyinka. Wole Soyinka is a Nobel laureate, and but many people are of the opinion that in spite of it, well, yes, his age, yes, now he's aging, but even when he was vibrant and young, as a scholar, give him a local government to manage, he might not be able to do it and do it well. So there are people who are caught out for details of administration in order that they can impact on lives. But there are also people who are caught out. I hate to call anybody a rabble-rouser, but there are people that are caught out for opposition, naturally so, to hold people in government to account so that they can be accountable and be responsible. And people have a way of rallying around them. I want to think the likes of Sowore are somewhere in between. He might not cut out for a good local government chairman, not to talk of giving him the destiny of a whole state to manage. And of course, we may not dream of that of Nigeria as it is now. But is he relevant in the unfolding political evolution of Nigeria? Oh, yes, such people are relevant. I think he has a stock of Fela. And of course, we know Fela was very relevant. And at some point, Fela was on the street, will make the government to do things better. Those are the roles such people would need to play. But it would have been unthinkable to make Fela the governor of either Lagos State or Ogun State, because he might as well come to the office wearing a boxer or wearing pants alone with his very long Indian hair. So there are those. Yes, exactly. So people have got their roles in the democratic evolution of Nigeria, and there are people that are caught out. They have the details for administration. Nigeria's challenge now should be looking out for such people. In one of the papers today, Makinde, the current governor, is in his second term, or your state governor, is saying that yes, he's concentrating on the mandate given to him by the people of Oyo State, but that he is also convinced that he is matured enough to administer Nigeria. He has done it in Oyo for two terms now. So we should be able to look at people who have done it at one level or the other, because come to think of it, administration starts from your home. Have you been able to administer your home and administer it well? Have you been able to do it at a ward level? Have you been able to do it at a local government level? So that we do not gamble into having the destiny of Nigeria put into the hands of the likes of Sowore as the initiator, perhaps the CEO of Sahara Reporters. Oh yes, playing a role, trying to set agenda, the watchdog media, and of course we see that that is making impact. And Revolution Now, oh yes, take back your country now, yes, galvanizing the youths and all that. It has its own role because it keeps the government in check, it keeps the government accountable and perhaps more responsible. But having him as the next president of Nigeria will be a huge historical gamble that this generation may not recover from in decades.
That's a big one. It's a historical gamble. Well, anyway, that's his assessment of who we are. Don't forget, I come on this show one day and I outline the quality of a leader. And perhaps what we should be asking is exactly what Chief Obaka has just put in context here. Who is the leader we're looking for? A rebel will be good. Fela was one. A lot of people have come, they rebel, they criticize. Let's bring Gani. Gani is the most respected one among all, who was able to hold the government. But when Gani contested, they didn't even get a vote. Well, because what? To govern a country.
He was a rebel with a cause.
With a cause.
He had a cause, he had an ideology.
Exactly. But that does not translate to winning presidency. First, you still have to win the elections. And perhaps that's where we're going to look at all the candidates today. From what I have seen.
And the structure, winning election requires you having formidable structure.
The structure. And sometimes they tell me about rigging election. I made it very clear. You can't rig election in my village. You have to have the men on the ground in my village to rig the election for you. Atiku will not be able to rig election in my village. He has to have his men on ground to rig the elections. And sometimes that's how it works. You need to have.
That's a level of acceptability.
Yes.
That's a level of acceptability.
Definitely. And for me, as that's on the winning the election. But for me, it's about, even when I look at you, what you're telling me, where are you taking the country to? That is exactly where I ask. Nigeria have a fundamental problem. We are not productive. And we need to change that. We need to wipe away corruption. That's where the entire, you see, that's where you have to see. If you think about wiping away corruption, then we want to see this guy. We like to see him, you know. But when you move this way, you want to look for who's going to take Nigeria to where we want to be in terms of the economy, where Nigeria should be in the Committee of Nations. Then you see Peter coming in there. Maybe that's why they say I like Peter. I never like him as a person. I like him what he's saying, I always say that Nigeria have a problem, and any issue I look at, anybody that watch my show will be able to will say that I always look at the economy, because with that, the economy is the key. Economy rules the world. Clinton said it. If a rich economy, you rule the world. If you have a lot of money, people will gravitate towards you. Remember when Nigeria had a lot of money? We were commanding respect. Fine, why? So anybody that is saying want to save you, or somebody want to give you independence, he should give you what? Economic independence. That's why we had these difficulties in all the other candidates. If you move, only that's what Peter come with. And sometimes they think because he's an Igbo man. I'm not an Igbo man, but I love him. You understand? It's not about the Igbo or because it's from the south or this. It's about what he's trying to deliver to us as a nation. You know, we need to get out. We need to be independent. Peter is preaching that. Now, let's go to the other candidate. When you see Atiku is a bigot. You know, it's not gonna be different from Buhari in my book. Sorry, that's my own.
I agree with worst candidate.
I don't think, Mary, he has, the guy, in fact, Obasanjo said this man is a thief. I'm not the one saying it, Obasanjo, like your Baba talker. Nine was your boss. He said you are a thief. Anyway, let's put that.
Was he not his vice president? I don't know.
I know that. In fact, there was a time this guy could have even removed Obasanjo from office. He was so powerful at the time. People were following him more than Obasanjo. No, it was if had Obasanjo not played the game well, this guy would have taken over. Obasanjo knew that he's going to win the next election if he didn't suppress him. So that was Atiku. So Atiku has suffered a level of oppression in terms of being the president of Nigeria. But the question I ask myself as a Nigerian is, what has Atiku got to offer us as a people? That is where my judgment comes from. It didn't come from who you are, it don't come from where you come from, it don't come from your religion, but what you are offering Nigeria. Because the Bible said you confess salvation. So tell us, where you taking us? If you can't conceive it, you can't say it. So, and that is where we are. And we just increase the number now. That's a good one. So let's see, we are more than the studio is complete. So what we say is that we have three, let's just say the four most relevant people now. Maybe added one. Unfortunately, Baka just trashed it, but maybe that is Baka's assessment. But Engineer Mashak, you're all welcome back. As well, we are you.
Well, Chris, good morning. Thank you.
Morning.
Good morning,
So,
sir.
2027.
Good morning, Mary.
2027. We've not even done with 2023. We are now 2027. Amen. But that's a good thing because we have to plan for the future. My question is, who is more relevant? Where are we going? Now, Tinubu is not sleeping. We know that. We'll come to that. But this whole thing now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes. Where should we be going? Who is the candidate we are waiting for? Or should we, is he among the ones we know, or should we be expecting another? That's my question for today. Engineer is just back. So Engineer,
I couldn't hear you.
When Atiku was asked if he was going to contest again for 2027, he said he does not know. So maybe they are trying to keep us in suspense. He does not know whether he will contest from now.
That's right? To say he's contesting. That's how politicians talk. If Atiku say he doesn't know, go on, sir. Mashak, can you hear us?
Okay. I can hear you properly now, but what's the question? Repeat it again in one sentence.
My question is, let me make it simple. We have identified the three wise men. And the three wise men, we identified them to be, these are our three wise men on the screen. Yeah. All right? Now, Mary reminded us there's one young man who called Sowore. I said that is correct. Now, in the heat, are we hoping that one of these candidates will be the right candidate for us in 2027, or should we just continue with it?
Okay.
That's my question.
Now, thank you very much. It's very unfortunate that we started this campaign for 2027 immediately after the 2023 election. It's so shocking that it's only in Nigeria where you see travesty of justice. That's what I want to call it. Because it is we don't talk about governance. Governors come into power, presidents come into power, national assembly members come into power. They don't talk about legislating. They don't talk about governance. They are more concerned about the next election. They are more concerned about projecting themselves. They are more concerned about holding clandestine meetings preparatory to the next election. Then what happens to governance? We are faced with a collection. You call them three wise men. I call them the three foolish men. Because we have lost essence in leadership. A wise man understands the needs of its people. As a wise father, you should know what your children need. As a wise administrator, you should know what your subordinates need. As a wise leader, you should know what your followers need. You cannot be wise and subject your followers or subject your subordinates to this level of political enormity that's put us in the level of poverty that we are today. Go around the nooks and crannies of this country, 36 states, and even beyond, even in diaspora. People are already clamoring. Splinter groups are already being bought. Not genuine agitation. They are being bought to project particular candidates, to project particular political parties. And we have seen a lot of cross-carpeting. That's why I am so ashamed to it. They go to a party that is ready to give them a plate of food for the moment to cure the hunger, but not to teach them how to farm for a generation. We are faced with a situation where in 2027, has taken away the essence of governance already. The projections, the postulations, the alignments are all geared towards
the cross carpeting.
Monies are being mopped out of the system.
Yeah.
People are already stacking loads of Ghana must go bags of money preparatory to elections. They're already decamping, they're already word delineation. People are already suing INEC.
Our story.
2027 election. We have the show about 27. What is happening? They have no problems are solved. Some people are projecting, even the political parties, until they understand the very essence of internal cannot be sustained. We have failed our political parties. I have never seen, I stand.
As about
it's an election to the House of Commons. Immediately loses the election, he jumps to the Labour Party. No. I have never seen where a member of the Democratic Party loses an election and jumps to the Republican Party. It's only in Nigeria that the lexicon, political prostitution, is very, very profound. Politicians don't care how you feel. Politicians don't care what you feel. Politicians don't care how you look.
The Nigerian politician in particular.
And their capacity to loot, understanding that with the knowledge of the fact that the judiciary has been pocketed. What a shame. We're talking of 2027. As any of the three of them, I've listened to a lot of them, the three wise men that are like you told me. Has any of them sat down holistically to reason out a probable solution to what is happening in the country right now? Look at the killings in Benue State. Muftan came and was almost weeping yesterday. Look at the killing in Plateau State. Look at the killings in Kaduna State. Look at the kidnappings in Delta State. In Isela Sabayon, on Saturday, there was kidnapping in the afternoon at about 2. I think today is Wednesday. I think on Sunday or Monday, there was kidnapping behind Witch Deck. Realtors took prospective clients to check on their prospective properties and they were kidnapped. Ransoms have been paid. And the annoying thing about all this is that the people even collecting the ransom don't even value the money. I watched on social media this morning where their children were playing with the words of 1,000 naira note that become toy for them. It's fun, it's not a game. And our leaders are talking about coming back. On what premise? Leaders return to political office is premised on integrity, on capacity, and on competence. Of those three, which of these has any of these people, as the present leaders in whatever capacity, been able to establish for the Nigerian people? None. The country is in such a situation where there's a need for a crisis management. The country itself needs a state of emergency.
Yes.
All the politicians need to go. The Holy Spirit needs to come and rule us. Because we are facing a serious situation where there's look, I miss Fela, I miss him. If Fela was alive tonight, I would have gone to Shrine to go and be inspired. All he sang in the 70s and the 80s are still playing out today. All he talked about. We miss true what do they call them? The true Ganifa Wahimis. We miss them. People that truly fight a just fight and who are paid with their lives, who have spent time in all the prisons. Most of our politicians should be in jail. Most of our politicians should be in jail. Some would have, if they were in Indonesia, China, even in South Africa, they would have been serving life sentences. But in Nigeria, political corruption are part of the political. Our Nigerian constitution is different from the political constitution. There's a political constitution that guides the political elite, and that is what they use to rule us, not our Nigerian constitution. For 2027, what I want, my advocacy is this: the Holy Spirit that carried Abacha away should wipe them away. Because These people are not ready to die. They are ready to use lives to prolong their lives. The only person that, amen to that, that's a good one, my brother in the Lord. The only persons that I see, look, I don't know who is going to rule us, but the present composition of political aspirants in terms of both at the federal, state, and the local level, especially let's talk about the federal level. I think there needs to be a political tsunami to clear them out. And why is it difficult? It is difficult because not that the right people don't wish to be part of government. They don't want to rule. But you see, the kind of democracy you are used to in the UK and the Senate clients in Europe and the Americas are quite different from what we see here. The moment a Mr. Obaka, because they know he's a man of integrity, declares the intention to want to go for even a councillor, that's where his problem starts. Maybe his dog will be kidnapped first. Kill his dog to send it. Your life is more important to your family than the greater cause. That is why you see good men don't want to rule. We have a lot of honorable men in this country, a lot of good men, men with integrity. But men without integrity can never allow men with integrity to come and veer on the political landscape. They have stolen our mandate so many a time. It was stolen in 1993. Look, if what happened in 1993 had not happened, my brother, Nigeria today would have been probably like Dubai or like Malaysia, because that was a template. The president, Moshood Abiola, had the connection. He knew verbatim that the IMF, the World Bank, and donor nations were part of our problems, and he wanted to ostracize himself from them. He had an ideology he wanted to project, but then the powers that be that are still ruling us today refused. Forget them. The Nadekos that ran to seek political asylum. What they preached against is what they are acting on today. It's a shame. We should forget about it. It's too early. There are still a lot of problems in governance and with governance that we're not talking of the oil and gas sector. We have not heard about the refineries for a while right now. Most of them are refinery. I mean, Warri Refinery. What is? It's a game reserve. It's working marginally, less than 20%, but we tell it's about 80%. What of the Element Petrochemical Refinery? What of the Kaduna Refinery? What of the insecurity? We can look at what is happening in Benue Plateau. Benue State, the epicenter of the food basket of the nation, they can't go to farm anymore. Plateau State, the epicenter of vegetables. You have potatoes, you name it. All the vegetables really for cabbage, garlic, ginger. You will. Have I shocked you? A basket of tomatoes right now is 8,000, 9,000 in Asaba and everywhere. A basket that we normally get for 3,000. It is Easter. A basket of onions is about 7,000. Not talk of groundnut oil. These are ripple effects of insecurity because people can't access their farms anymore. People are scared. And what people don't even understand, like I tell them, it is not, these people do not know whether you are Muslim or you are Christian. They are on a killing spree. They have a mental illusion. They don't know what they are doing. They are being gullible. They are being manipulated by extreme bodies who tell them what to do, and they enjoy. It's like they are playing a game. And our leaders are looking towards 2027. We cannot get a sustainable democratic platform to project 2027 if we don't get it right with this little governance management crisis that we are craving for. We must tackle the things that are more important right now. 2027 is still 2 years away. It's let the political party be playing internal democracy, and the party in power should face governance and talk less about 2027. Nigeria needs to be healed.
Amen. I you know, when it comes to this, I get all the feedback I want, and sometimes I'm excited when I hear from the two gentlemen and lady. It is exciting. It is a moment in history, but perhaps there will be a way forward. Mary, if they tell you to pick a candidate today, what would you be telling us? You're young, you're a woman. So how does your mind work? It would be nice to hear how young people think.
Beyond human imagination. If I say I'm picking a candidate now, I might still end up picking the wrong one. Because what these people say is different from what they do. It's not all about what they say, right? They have their manifesto. They tell you
No,
this is
but
what
Benny, what would you want to see? What would you want to see? What kind of candidate would you want to see?
I want
Can
to
you
see
see it among
a
one
kind
of
of
them?
candidate that works, a kind of candidate that will change the system entirely, like revamping of the system, right? Just like what Mr. Obaka said. If he wants to judge from the fact that Shori was part of the protest, he came out, he was talking. If he wants to use that one to judge him, it's okay, let's make him the president. But just like what he said, it's not all about that. He might go there and not know what to do. Everybody have where their strength is. That we should not really judge them. And I think it gave me a different perception about how I see these things. Let's not start judging them because of what they say, what they come out to say. It's not all about that. It's about their vision, right? When they get to that place, what are the things we think they can do? Are they really meant to be there? Is it that kind of thing? You understand? Just like it's true what you said, you might even give the person just the common local government chairman, and they will not have anything to do in their local communities. So if you tell me to pick someone here, I to be sincere, I will not really tell you that I'm good enough to say this is who should be there. Because
But to be fair, Peter has done it too. Peter has
even
done
when
it in the
he
state.
wanted to emerge as the president, what did the wife come out to say? She said that they already have money, that they are rich, they don't need Nigerian money. Yeah, that was what she said. That they only wanted to help us, and it gave people a hope that okay, these people are rich. The man has money. They want to help Nigerians. But now he's there as the president. So what is happening? It looks as if the economy is even going down more and more for someone that already has money that wants to help Nigeria. I'm not saying he's not working. He is. But what about Nigerians? What's the fate of Nigeria? What we are going through now is it what we've been going through before? I feel like the whole situation is getting worse. Yes, I'm not saying Peter B is good. He's cool. But if everything he's saying is what he will do when he gets there, then it's fine. Before we have always talked about him as the right candidate. But it's not about what they say during this time. It's all about what they will do when they get to that place. So I think I am actually short of a choice of who to
Candidate.
say yes is the right candidate right now.
Now let this bring us back to Baka. The campaign is ongoing. The movement is on already. Consultation ongoing. It's like El-Rufai, the little man, is the one leading the way. Buhari is back in the scene. Do you think Baba Tinubu will be sitting down and watching these people doing their game? What do you think Baba will do? What do you think Baba is watching them and say?
So
what do you think
that's a very vital question and a very interesting one at that. My brother, Engineer Mishak, says something very, very interesting and, of course, very topical. That 2027 is far off, and we should concentrate on administration. I align myself with his thoughts, but again, I want to differ slightly. Why I want to differ slightly is, in politics, especially when it has to do with democracy, and we are talking of the largest black nation of the world.
Yes.
The political calendar is different from the usual calendar that you and I know. 2027 is like tomorrow to
Yes.
the average politician, and to some, it's already a concluded matter. So
Yes.
what they are working towards now should be 2031. Another 4 years after.
Ahead.
So it's to you and I that 2027 is far off. But to some, 2027, they know who is to be where, and a number of things about 2027 have been long concluded. And that's why you hear that in certain government houses in certain states, 2027, no vacancy. There is no vacancy.
No vacancy, yes.
But
yes.
Now the question now should be, when will there be vacancy? And some are working towards the vacancy that will be created sometime in 2031. So because the consultations are already, if you are going to be elected for a position in 2027, And today you are in the studio here talking instead of being out there on, consulting with the powers,
That be.
who will endorse you. If you are not on the road, if you have not hit the road now doing consultation, then you have missed out of it. You are late. You need to do a catch-up. So 2027 is a reality. It's already with us. And so choosing this as a topic.
And I want to be very clear. At exactly an hour into the broadcast, we will be shifting straightly to the newspaper review. I won't play with that. I won't play with that today. So, and then
widen our search net and see how we can get some more people. Oh, yes, we are not getting foreigners to come and rule us. Yes, they might have foreign backings, but they are truly Nigerians. But that have not been tried with any post, no, that would be a huge gamble. And who have we tried? If you have not been a local government chairman at a level of a state, can we point at what you did when you were entrusted with power in the state? Is EFCC still trailing you and you are visiting and coming back, like the man who was in Kogi and all that, and you have stacked out some money and you want to buy the entire Nigeria in order that you can improve on what you did in a state? Issue of not being accountable. Nigeria needs an administrator. We have had politicians enough. Nigeria needs a manager of resources.
Exactly.
A manager of resources. We need to manage our resources. We need creative leadership and not consumptive leadership.
Yes.
We don't need ethnic bigots. We don't need ethnic bigots. I don't care where you come from. If the one who will save Nigeria as an administrator is from the northern part of the country, so be it. I'm not bothered. You must not come from my ethnic group for me to say I am keying behind you. Nigerian situation is so urgent that we need a political messiah, and he has to come in the mode of an administrator, a selfless administrator, not a waster of resources. Somebody who is ready to put his life on the line. If I perish, I perish for this nation.
Yes.
You won't perish.
No. That the person should be able to say, if I perish, I perish. We see a young man in Ukraine. Yes. We see a young man in Ukraine slugging it out with Russia. If I perish, I perish.
Nobody give him a chance.
You see him having disagreement with Trump. And he says, I don't care.
Those are the kind of people we need.
We need a nationalist. We need somebody who will come in the mode to salvage the nation.
I can't even stop.
Who in the process, he doesn't care if he takes his life. And that fellowship has to be sacrificial. But of course, he has to, not a rudderless person, not a rabu-ruza. He's got to have a vision. This is where we are. He understands the problems. And this is the trajectory to take us out of this problem. Our problem all this while has been that we are a wasteful nation. We have resources we do not know how we can manage. So we need a manager.
That's it.
People are living in the country in droves. They are losing hope. And so Tinubu came and told us renewed hope agenda.
Yes.
And that sounded almost like what happened in 1993.
Yes.
That has to do with Abiola. And we were expecting that, renewed hope agenda. Maybe hope would be renewed. But we're also seeing that it's like another hope deferred. Then the dream is getting frustrated. 2 years on, we are seeing that he had a coalition. That was ADN, ACN rather. He had a coalition, ACN, with CPC of the Buhari. Yeah. So now we see El-Rufai
of the CPC extraction.
of the CPS extraction is back to Buhari, who has relocated from Katsina to Kaduna. We know the political symbolism of Kaduna,
Exactly.
you know, and he is there. So it does appear that the coalition they had, out of the desperation to put Jonathan out of power and giving him the toga of incompetence, that he was is the most clueless president we have ever had. And we felt that those who labeled him clueless, that they should even the Jonathan. You know, so now there appears to be that the CPC part of that coalition is pulling, because they are beginning to see that the interest of the core north is not being protected. And so we see that some of them are moving en masse to SDP. So now, how long more will Nigeria be shaped by desperate coalitions? Somebody will call them coalition. That appears to be a refined word, but it's actually a gang up. And we have always had this gang up because Nigeria, 3 major ethnic groups. So it is believed that if 2 ethnic groups can gang up, if the North and the South and the Igbo extraction and the minorities. So there, as we speak, there are people who are drawing out this call it game, drawing it up and finding out if this matches with this, how will it go? We have had the likes of Obasanjo. Somebody read that out recently with respect to what you need to do in order to become a Nigerian president. You know, so we now see a situation where the coalition that brought Tinubu to power is falling apart. So should it successfully fall apart?
That's my question for today.
To retain Aso Rock in 2012. And that's the question.
Chigobaka, that is my question, really.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Sir Chris. I'm with you, Sir Chris.
That the question I really have for today is, will Tinubu's fold his hand, like Goodluck Jonathan, allow power to go, or he is going to do everything humanly possible to stick to power? I want to tell you, Tinubu has one friend here you guys must not forget. You see this man with him is my brother. You know, this man was able to win election when all the Yoruba people were against him. He knows the game. You know, there's something
that's class what? 1999 governors. Class exactly. 1999. The governor, so class 1999. Yes.
You see, Chris,
I want us to have some fun.
The first
go on. I said we need to have some fun.
Savo was on 2027 should not be a priority, but now I want to discuss on the politics of 2027 moving forward.
Exactly.
Explicitly, you and I know that Tinubu did not win the election by voting. If by pronouncement of INEC, that's how he won. Now, it was aided and abetted by the CPC bloc within the APC. And if you look at what Bayo Onanuga came out to say yesterday, he was pleading with the CPC bloc not to leave the APC. That means there's already a sign or an indication that the CPC bloc is exiting. And Mr. Baka made a reference to the movement, because look at, I have not found any realistic explanation for the change of residence of the former president from Katsina to Kaduna, except being a political movement. That is the number one. This is political and it is strategic. It has had audience with both members of the CPC faction who have decamped to the SDP and members of the APC in quotes, who call themselves members of the Governors Forum, whom amongst them are fit columnists that are working for and those that are working against the Tinubu administration. Moving forward. Now, the structure of the election in 2023 was so patterned along a general acceptance of Mr. Peter Obi, and they voted along that line. But for the manipulations of INEC, Peter Obi should have been pronounced as Mr. President. But then the Beavers machine failed for the presidential election. When Nigerians shouted, they changed it, they modified the Electoral Act and said they can either use both analog or the Beavers machine, or what do they call it, to collect results. But I remember Nigerians were attracted by the pronouncement of the presidency and the INEC leadership that this time, as we are voting, our votes are reflecting in the collation center. As you vote, it's being collated. So we expected transparency and the holistic kind of. So because of all these things that are happening now, the political gladiators, 2027 is going to be an election of surprises. Let me give you that word. An election of surprises. People are going to be surprised. People are going to be betrayed. People are going to be shocked. There's going to be a high caliber influence from there will be voter apathy. Let me tell you, the pains people they are going to be voting along realistic emotional lines. The biggest problem we're going to be having in 2027 will be the judiciary and INEC again. And that is where extraordinary strategy comes in. I call Tinubu an extraordinary strategist. You see, he doesn't talk much. When you talk of somebody with the instrumentality of politics, it's Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. He's observing all that is playing out. He's choosing his friends already. He's strengthening institutions he would need to manipulate the system at that time.
Yes. Look at it.
And he's prepared. If the person can stand alone, it's one person I believe can stand alone. It happened. Buhari never wanted him to win the primaries. I hope you know that. Never wanted him to win. But he coerced the system through financial inducement, through threats. Mr. President is somebody I know. He can work with any country. We will gather all the agberos, we mobilize, gather the market women, mobilize. He has the capacity to transform an existential situation into an anarchy, state of anarchy. And that is what we're going to be seeing in 2027. Because we know why. Because within the CPC and the APC, we have people that are there with one leg inside, one leg outside. Even amongst themselves, they don't trust themselves. So there are going to be a lot of blackmail, political blackmails. I pray there will not be assassinations, but there will be political blackmails. We're going to have two very important players if God keeps them. Yes, so we go to prison too. Then two people, if God keeps them in 2027, are going to determine, I'm closing with this salvo for this. Two people are going to determine the trajectory of the 2027 election. Nyesom Wike and Asiwaju Bola Tinubu will determine, those two people will determine how it goes, not what CPC is doing or SDP is doing. Tinubu holds the institutions. He has positioned his men. Chairman, and is the Labour Party de facto chairman. He's in charge of the three strongest political parties right now. And let's see how it pans out.
You see, let's get this in. Because the question, the thing that really excites me, please, gentlemen, at Sunday, an hour into the broadcast, we will go to the newspaper review. I want us to be following time. Mary, welcome back. We missed you. Anyway, what I want us to realize is Tinubu is not sleeping. Like you rightly said, it's a strategist. And most of his strategies are so barbaric too. Let's talk about what is going on in the country at the moment. Nobody want to talk about it. How could we keep quiet and a music played, a normal music, which is supposed to be fun? Tell your papa say hunger dey land. How could they ban that such a music? What was wrong with it? Baby, you are the young people. Where is this coming from? Is this how he's gonna win the next election? Because you see, sometimes I think Tinubu has over strategized right now. For me, I think the best way he would have won the election is to continue to do the right thing, and he will win. But he is now going outside. Okay, that will not win the election in Nigeria. Because if you want to silence people like Buhari and all these people, you need to really threaten them. Maybe one of them is now telling Idris, you're going to go to prison, or what? Or very dark man. These are not your problem.
NBC.
Young people.
Banned the song.
NBC banned the song.
That last song he sang.
So we cannot play the song now. The song that is already on YouTube. Were they able to ban it on YouTube?
And it's Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation now. So they have banned the song now.
They will not be able to show it unless they are telling YouTube not to play it. Yeah.
Are you not when you are a registered media, you have to follow protocols.
Yes, no, we're not playing it here now. We're not going to play it yet. But my question is, my question is this the way to go, my people? Asaba Abuja, is it the way to go to ban a music? Sometimes, when I'm a teacher, they teach us that when you have a problem child in the classroom, rather than beating the child all the time, sometimes you avoid the child. You use the extinction principle. You pretend as if he's not in the class. But the people is reacting to every little thing. Every music, you react to that is how much you are threatened. It's shameful. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that what my
of desperation. Yes, that's a reflection of desperation, if not frustration.
Exactly.
Yes. Because come to think of it, freedom, yes. The song was released based on freedom of speech, yes, and freedom of expression.
Yes.
And it's both enshrined in the Constitution and the FOI. You know, so and one thing is that we have a way of not learning anything from history. By banning the music, you make it a whole lot more popular.
That's it.
Because many people will now want to know why. Why did you ban it?
If you tell a child not to touch anything, the child want to touch it. If you tell a child,
making it more popular, you are not just making the musician more popular. Yes, and more people will want to know what is the content that you are suppressing. Suppression of information, yes, especially in a democracy, is an anathema. That is only dictators that will want to go through that path. But it pains that operating a democracy and somebody who claims in his credential that he's a Democrat will want to suppress information. Whoever counseled him, whoever advised him for that was a wrong counseling. Because at the end of the day, it often ends being counterproductive. What you try to suppress in terms of free speech, people will want to go for it, and at the end of the day, it paints the government in a bad light.
Yes. So let's quickly, we're going to make this very brief, very brief. My question is really, what I'm trying to get for us to bring out is, do you think what happened to Goodluck Jonathan, that Tinubu will allow it to happen to himself? Is he going to work in Nigeria again? Are we going to see another situation?
They are not the same kind of human. You need to understand. Goodluck Jonathan, when I look at him, what I see is Peter Obi. They have same kind of characteristics. They are two kind of people.
Goodluck and Peter, right?
Yes. Like Peter, like he wants to start fighting.
These are refined human beings. Let me put it that way. These are very refined.
You can't do that with the president. It can't work that way. Everybody is not the same.
You know, Goodluck had every chance to put Buhari in prison. He had every chance because Buhari was having paper problem, so many issues. That man should be in prison before the election. Good luck allow him to win it. You think Tinubu is going to let that happen? He's already banning music. You think Tinubu will allow you to come and win it? That's the question I ask. A quick one before we go to this one review. Yes.
Very good luck was not in charge. Tinubu is in charge. Those are two different scenarios. Good luck was never in charge when he was president. Tinubu is fully in charge as president. Being in charge is mean you have the totality of influence over all the institutions. Good luck never had all that. Good luck was more like a proxy president. He lacked the political will to take certain decisions. Tinubu doesn't care who's is God.
Again, I agree with you.
You can bypass the National Assembly. In fact, National Assembly, they always premeditated bills that they have agreed upon that are sent for assenting. So there are two contrasting endings.
Yes, where I differ with you slightly is Good Luck was and remains a Democrat.
Yes, he is.
Good Luck, yes. And he thought
that's another way
he thought that the principles of democracy should work.
No, with due respect, Good Luck was a Democrat.
He was and is still a Democrat. He respected the rules of the game and the issues of federal character.
Yes.
And so there was spread of appointment and political so that it can spread. And he thought that doing it right could perhaps make him a statesman and could perhaps sustain him in power. You know, but that didn't quite work out. Tinubu, in the contrast, appears to understand Nigeria and the issue of power play a lot better.
Yes.
That you have it, you maximize the use of it. This is your time. Make full use of it. And, you know, they say power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Power in Nigeria needs to be absolute for it to be sustainable. And that is what the North is not comfortable with. Because the key appointment, be it in the military, be it in the police, and all that, chairman comes from the Southwest. And it's possible, you know. So he knows what to do with power, and he does not want to give anything to chances, because he will want to still be relevant even after 2027. So that is the difference between the makeup of Jonathan, who was a civilian and a civilian all through, and was not that desperate about power and power control. But here is Tinubu, who had for decades looked forward to this opportunity, and now that he has it, he does not want to leave it.
Only God can take it from him.
Only God can take Tinubu out of that place
with any slight mistake at all.
Only God can take him out of the place. You know, I remember I just had a form. I remember the time of Ibori. Don't forget, Ibori is a brother to me from my village. You know, Ibori will win Ogbaru in his own, in his own constituency. He win Ogbaru there. How? Because Ogbaru, if you be in prison, even when the whole of Urobo were in support of Ogbaru, he couldn't. He said he will be in prison for the election. So don't expect anything less. I always say, had Ibori been Good Luck, Buhari would have been in prison during the election. Who are you to contest with him and you're gonna win? But you guys are joking, and that is the power play Tinubu has. So maybe our renewed hope might just be renewed in 2027. I don't think, well, unless like Engineer Mashak said, unless God, the Holy Spirit, they used the word before on this show already, the Holy Spirit will come and wipe them away. Otherwise, we're going to have another 4 years of Tinubu. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the newspaper before we round up the show today. We're going to have the lighter show today. All right, let's have it light, because these guys, they're making a mockery of our political system. And I like it very well that Engineer said this morning. Very important, Masha. You said they they're having the political constitution is different from the Nigerian constitution. They really know who they are. Is it party or political constitution? So there are two different constitutions that we're being operating with in Nigeria. We're going to understand that more as we go on. But let us go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll take a look at that.
Nigeria Week London 2025. It's time to celebrate the pulse of Africa's most exciting nation. Nigeria Week London 2025 is coming to Hippodrome Theatre from July 24th to 26, 2025, showcasing the best in Nigerian arts, music, fashion, and investment opportunities. Whether you're looking to discover the future of real estate, explore Nigeria's culinary masterpieces, or get immersed in an electric Afrobeat performance, this is the event of the year. You can also join us for a film festival, cultural dance spectacles, and the recognition awards. Don't miss out on the business opportunities and cultural experiences waiting for you. Book your tickets now before they're gone on eventbrite.co.uk. Call or text +447 438 893 190 or 080 330 46768 or +447 459 071 747. Visit our website superiorradioandtelevision.com. Nigeria Week London 2025. Nigeria Week London 2025, celebrating the best of Nigeria, is partnered with Civil Society, scaling up nutrition in Nigeria.
Welcome back, people. Welcome back. We're still waiting for Asaba to take a seat, and Mary's ready right there. We're going to take a look at the papers this morning. Very, very important. Maybe we're going to take a look at the newspapers. Sometimes we come on this show, we don't get along with the Nigerian dailies, and it's not very good. So let's take a look at the papers quickly this morning. Let's have Asaba back. Yes, a look at the newspaper this morning, please. All right, we start as usual with what newspaper, Mary?
The Punch.
Mbaka will control this. Yes.
Okay.
You and Mbaka are in charge. Yeah.
Okay,
with the Punch? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we have Interpol, big story. Interpol joins EFCC in 1.3 trillion cybex probe. EFCC cracks down on other Ponzi schemes. Please shut down cybex office. Victims recount losses. And that story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper.
That's a news item on virtually all the papers today, and there's a need for financial education. Yes, there is a need for Nigerians to be better educated with respect to issues of because the rate at which we fall victim to Ponzi schemes and the kind of amount that is involved. Yes, financial transactions have gone more fintech now than conventional banking, but we need to know credible platforms. And the EFCC say they were already tracing that outfit. They were already tracing that outfit, CBE, yes, before it eventually collapsed. And come to think of it, the money that is 1.33 billion that is supposed to be investors' money there is something on the very disturbing side.
They said they're investigating other 54 different companies that they feel, right? Also into fraud. Nigerians have lost a lot of money in this Ponzi schemes of it. This one crashed the money. And you can imagine how much
the same news is in Guardian. That same news is also the list in Guardian. It says desperate Nigerians lose over 1.7
billion. Everywhere. It's everywhere since yesterday. When the only
yes, is the link. Yes.
So but I could
go ahead,
allow the floors. Yeah, go on.
Okay, still on the Punch, we have Plateau killings. How militants attack villages near major army formation coming from victims. or Islam. Trump has already put Nigeria's economy at risk, coming from federal government. Federation account allocation, fourth straight month to 1.57 trillion naira on page 35 of the Punch. Defense Minister, Service Chief reviews security strategies on page 34 of the Punch. Still on the Punch, Tinubu inherited economy on life support. And this coming from Omar.
Who put
Please,
economy
can
on
we
life
pause
support?
there and highlight
Exactly.
that story? Yes,
Exactly.
let's highlight that story. That's
Exactly.
the minister of works,
Dave Umahi.
Dave
Yeah.
Umahi, who is a staunch Tinubu supporter, and don't forget East. So a Southwest Southeast alliance now speaking to the current political situation in the country. He's trying to explain that Tinubu inherited economy on life support. Who handed over that economy on life support to Tinubu? That is talking about the man who is currently in Kaduna, you know. So, and he is a voice. Umahi is a voice in the Southeast. So what is trying to play out here now is that the Southeast, Southwest, and this is South, is trying to say, yes, we understand what is happening in the North. We understand the political realignment, but don't forget that we handed over an economy that was on life support.
If an economy is on the life, if a patient is on life support, will you finally kill the patient? Will you finally kill somebody that is on life support? Your responsibility
is he a great voice? Go. Go on, sir.
Is his responsibility to bring the person back to life?
If the Nigerian economy was on life support,
Also, and he's not saving it.
Were part of
they were part of, yes, majority of them.
He cannot claim he didn't know the economy
Majority,
was on life support.
More than 3/4 of his men were part of the.
If he campaigned,
I love this.
What it invariably meant was that he to turn around life support will be able to be discharged from the hospital.
Yes.
So
Okay.
now coming to tell us that the economy you inherited 2 years ago was on life support, it does not make much sense. In 2 years, have you tried to take that patient out of the emergency unit?
Or you buried the patient.
Out of life support?
Or you buried the patient. My question is,
Because
is Umahi even a good
yes,
voice?
Because I think it's article that is telling us today that as a result of the incompetence of Tinubu's administration, that a number of Nigerians are dying.
Yes.
Dying as a result of insecurity, dying as a result of poor economy, dying as a result of inability to eat.
Whose creation was it? They were part of this, all of them. That's why I don't feel sorry for any of them.
Okay.
They were all part of the system. Look at the APC. The constituents and composition of the APC are 90% former PDP members who have come to join. They splinter of CPC and ACN. Majority of them are PDP. It's why the corrupt ones are PDP members. They were the people that started that purgatory in the country. They put a patient that came to the hospital. Nigeria was like a patient that came to the hospital to complain of just headache. And you went, instead of treating headache, you went to operate on the patient. You went to operate on the patient, and you forgot biceps inside the patient's stomach. It became abscess. From headache, you caused a worse situation for the patient.
Cancer.
And now you are telling us that the patient was on life support. Now, yes, you get the patient serious terminal cancer, not curable one. Serious cancer. Now, the same people are coming to you. Okay, you met somebody on life support. Instead of bringing more oxygen and all that, you remove the oxygen that you were using to put him on life support
by removing the subsidy.
Exactly.
The subsidy was removed.
This country is laughable.
The government that handed over the country and economy on life support maintained subsidy.
Yes,
for 8 years. And the moment they handed it over to the nation over to you, your first pronouncement was subsidy is gone.
Without discussion, without people allowing the person that was swearing you in to finish swearing you in.
And the nation has not recovered from that shock.
Without even allowing us to. I was driving.
The economy has not recovered from that up till now.
I was driving. I just bought fuel for 165. And before I got to the office, they told me, they have removed subsidy. When I rushed back to the same station, they said it was now 550. I said, but if I reach 30 minutes when I buy 150, they say, oh, God,
that was 30 minutes ago.
Subsidy is gone.
What's a pain? And now I'm buying for 980. And you want it to be happy. A patient you entrusted in your care as a consultant.
Yes. My question
and that was the genesis.
It's painful. It's painful. They're all the same. They're all the same. APC, PDP, APGA, Labour Party, Nigerian Labour Congress, PENGA,
Nigerian problem. Anybody that is not here will understand.
All this.
Just
if you do not have what it takes, if you don't to resuscitate a patient.
My question is surgical
attention now.
Serious one.
It will require surgical attention. Enough of political polemics. Enough of sloganeering. You know, we need. Yes, we agree. The country is on life support, but we need committed experts who should be able to carry the surgery that is required, so that we can get it.
And Nigeria is treatable. We can treat Nigeria.
In a few years from now, we should be.
Anyway, that's a very good one. I just want to know. My question to everybody watching this is Umahi a credible voice? They say, because like Tinubu is desperate to get any voice. One thing I always say to Tinubu is he always any of this gambling he try to, in fact, all this jump. Papa, you should relax. I know you are shortage, but you're not patient man at all. Because in your attempt to jump on issues, you make big mistakes. The last time you came, you told some people they were like, you want them to support you. The Christians are supporting your decision. You brought people, they are not true Christians. It backfired. You didn't learn from that. Look at what you did now. If I were you, I won't be taking the governor of River State. I'll make that guy my boy. Settle the matter at home. Bring the two of them to Aso Rock. Talk with them. Then we would have reconciled the issue. Or you couldn't reconcile it. There's one thing that is going to kill you. That the two people, that two of your sons couldn't reconcile it. Now look at what you've done. So Baba makes so much mistake. Now you are taking Umahi as a credible voice. Because you are looking for somebody to speak to you from the southeast, and Umahi is the one. Is Umahi a credible voice, Mary? That's a question everybody should be asking. Who is he? The one. Sometimes is he the one? Is it the one? Is it the one that will speak and the role of the East will respect him? Is he the one? You know, sometimes they make mistakes. Big mistake. Is he the one we are waiting for? Is he the one we are expecting? Get somebody that you can respect, that can command the respect of the people, not Umahi. Umahi that is constructing the contract from Lagos, from where to Calabar. Is that not this project? Nigeria.
Lagos.
We get Wahala.
Calabar Highway.
Lagos Calabar Highway.
Asking for to know who will be candidate.
So they can make. You can imagine the amount of money they must have pumped into that place. Maybe that is where the next election money is coming from. In Jesus' name. Anyway, let's go quickly with the back. You're
asking for who you want to know who will be 2027 candidates. I think still on the punch we have 2027. I have capacity to be president since Makinde. So with time we are still going to know more of them, more of this.
Makinde will not be able to stand Tinubu at this stage now. That's the problem. You know. We're not going to get a candidate from they're not going to be able to do it. The question, you see, this is the problem. While we are still here a little before we move on, are we really hoping that PDP is going to produce a credible candidate that will oppose Tinubu with Atiku there, with Atiku ugly head being raised all the time?
It will be very difficult for PDP to produce. It will be very difficult for them unless they factor out a way of reconciling everybody that has a beef with the party. Wike is their biggest problem. I'm very ashamed of the PDP that they cannot. Wike has done a lot of blasphemous acts against the PDP. Nothing was done. What he has done, he's supposed to have been expelled. I don't know whether they're owing him or he borrowed PDP money. They don't know how to handle the situation.
Maybe
And because of that, they lack
Yes.
internal democracy.
True.
Most of the things, the actions of Wike, they lack internal democracy. He is the creator of the infraction within the PDP, and he has caused that to
between Wike, are you
create a
blaming only
platform,
Wike?
a template to
Wait.
make APC stronger. And
Engineer Marshall.
funny enough, we are looking at PDP at the center. Wike is not just destabilizing PDP at the center. He's destabilizing PDP in the different states. In Delta State here, the same thing is happening. In Edo State, the same thing is happening. There is a calculated intent by the ruling party to create a one-party state by 2027 at all levels. If PDP cannot recreate the vision, I was ashamed. So APC now opened their mouth on live television to say, who was doing that yesterday or the yesterday, that they are the biggest APC, the biggest
what?
in the whole of Africa right now. And I remember a couple of years back, it's only because they are only vocal in exclamation, but not in building institutions. If PDP as a party had built strong base, who is Wike to come and be shaking them? That he even went to their Wadada house to tell them they don't have CFO, that they are going to be evicted. I mean, somebody has grown bigger than the party, and
the level of arrogance
they're going to lick his ass. Most of the party members, they go to Abuja to have dinners with him, clandestine dinners. A lot of them are sycophants. A lot of them are refused to tell themselves the truth. I fight a judge. If I'm fighting you, now I'm fighting you. I don't hide it, because my hands, he that must come to equity must come with clean hands. Most of them don't have clean hands. They have skeleton in their cupboards. And Wike uses it to blackmail them, and all the APC uses it to blackmail them. And the moment they switch over, to their sins are forgiven. EFCC's files are closed.
The baptism.
I think there is serious danger when we don't have
strong opposition.
No, it's not about opposition. There must be a defined means of funding political parties.
Yes.
You know, by the time you allow one man to fund the activities of a political party, and that was carried on for years, that becomes dangerous. The party is pocketed by that one man, and he determines a whole number of things. Parties should be funded by individual members through both the sales of card and their subscription. We must define means of funding our political parties. That is how we can get back to parties having an ideological base and parties not being hijacked by individuals. What Engineer Mishak is talking about has to do with the 8 years that an individual, Wike, was in Rivers State and was responsible for a whole number of issues of funding about the party. And that gave him the leverage that he was having influence in what happened in the party in states outside Rivers State, because he was trying to expand his political base, because he had the aspiration that he could emerge the president of the party, the presidential candidate. When that didn't work, he felt that he could be consoled with becoming a vice presidential candidate.
And that one didn't work.
But when that didn't work, because Okowa was chosen ahead of him, then he became bitter, and the beast in him started manifesting. And of course, he galvanized the other 5 governors and supported the current president. And he had been compensated by being made a very powerful minister, the minister of the Federal Capital Territory. And of course, he's more of an APC man now.
Of course.
But he is using the influence he has in PDP to ensure that the PDP is not at rest, that the party doesn't cohere, that they do not constitute a formidable opposition countdown to 2027.
My question is, what happened to other governors that have made so much money that has so much influence. It's Wike. Wike is just a rat in the presence of them. We have the right light of them Odili, we have them Ibori, them Udwa, the former governor of those states. These are people. Where are they? Their money don't finish. Where are they? Because the shameful thing is, there's this young man coming from nowhere to torment the nation. See, it's obvious that he's being used to disorganize PDP. Maybe I don't even have sympathy for them, because is PDP a party to talk about it? Because if you imagine all those who have looted money in the same PDP are nowhere to be found, where is the money? That they cannot use the money to fund the party, so they're waiting for the one that has deflected. Because let's say
Exactly.
Wike is now in APC. Where are the rest? Where are the remaining PDP members? Are they all dead? Are they all dead? You know, it's so interesting when we see this, the way the language is going. You know who came out to complain? From Rotimi. Rotimi saying that that the way that they want to make Nigeria a one-party state because it's not favoring him. Sometimes we don't know who to run to. Is it Rotimi we want to listen to? Rotimi Amechi, who was made a minister, who thought he was going to be president. Now the game backfire on him. He's coming back to us. You know what is so good in all? They won't come back to us. Because their time will be finished. Buhari time is finished. Buhari is coming back to us. Don't worry. When if you offend Tinubu now, Tinubu will throw him one blow. Buhari will fall back to us. They will all be falling back. Tinubu time will still come and go now. It will fall back to us. See, that is the only power we have as a people. And if we can realize it on time, we can save ourselves. Like we said, we need a savior. The savior is going to come from among us. God did not send Jesus he sent Jesus from among the Jews. Because the Jews were having problems. So maybe the savior will come from among us. Who is that savior? The question I look so calmly, and I still ask myself, let me zero on the main candidate that I really want to see. Peter Obi. To end this show now. What can Peter do to become relevant? Because Peter is not there, he's not out. He's not there, he's not out. Peter is supposed to be, he's supposed to have already won the election today. But it's not the case. What can he do, my people, for him to come back? Because I can hear General Machak saying that Peter won the election. Yes. That is not officially. He didn't win. If he win, he would have been in Asoro. So officially. Yes, not officially. So the power that been didn't allow him. So now he's there. He still have some kind. We look at him. He still have that. And I like when we do the comparison. A true Democrat. You can see Peter. Peter looks like good luck. There are people that would have ruled Nigeria with civility. This kind of barbaric actions, banning, making some stupid statement, or if what happened to him this time won't happen, Peter won't do it. He won't do it. And yet we are now struggling to be relevant. Peter is not struggling to be relevant. My question, Nigeria, is please send a letter to Peter, in an open letter to Peter, or advise him. What can the man do to be relevant? Let me add all of you back to stage. Why are people disappearing? The question I see as finally, and that is my last question for this show, will be, what can Peter do to be relevant? Maybe we'll start with you this time.
Well,
It's not only coming out to condemn the things that the present administration
it's Marion.
Yeah, that one is not determining what to make him look as a credible person. What I'm saying is, it's not all about him coming out to condemn what this present administration is doing. No, that's not what we want. There are other things he should do that will actually buy the minds of people. Because I believe that Peter is a businessman, right? So I feel like if he embark on different projects and a different project that is visible for people, people can see it and say, this is the project that he's doing, even without being the president, that will actually yield income, that will actually bring to the employment for the people of Nigeria, people will support him because they'll know that if this person finally emerges to be the president, he will do more. I don't think all of them coming out to say this is what the present administration is doing, it's not good, it's not okay, this is what they should. No, don't come out to advise them because they won't even take your advice. Do something that will make you different from these people so that people will see what you are doing. Let your project be visible. And by so doing, I feel like you buy the voice of people. That's my take though.
Yeah, good girl. You remember the last lecture I delivered? Okay, let's go to Ubaka and Asaba. Yes, what should Peter be doing today? You know, we're still waiting for Asaba. They will hear us.
I think
Yeah.
Yeah, we are on.
Okay, yes. So my question is, we're turning it back to you now.
Yeah, we are hearing you.
Yes. Okay. What should Peter do? Let's focus on Peter for the rest of the show. What should Peter do to be relevant today, and so that at least he can be on top? Because obedience was a movement. Obedience was
Well, okay. My take on that is that Peter remains a credible option, and perhaps too a viable option. Nigeria needs a credible leader, but Nigeria's democracy is not yet ripe for independent candidacy. So you need a platform. The obedient movement became a viable movement, and it shook the strongholds of political power in Nigeria in the last election. They realized that and focused on the Labour Party and infiltrated its rank and file. And it became a party that was at war with itself. There were issues, and they have moved from one court to the other. The last has been the Supreme Court over who is the real chairman. Is it Aburi or the Peter faction? So they gave him an assignment. You know, they gave him an assignment, something that would distract him, so that instead of building on that structure and getting it more formidable and prepared for 2027, they decided to whittle that. So that became an issue on its own. But that does not in any way reduce from his vision and his credibility. Because if he was not a leader with a vision and he was not credible, they have set up a whole number of clandestine committees to study his 8 years in Anambra. And there are only few people in this nation that you could supervise the affairs of even a ward, not to talk of a local government, not to talk of a state, for 8 years, and your political detractors who feel threatened by your rising political profile, they can use to hold you. That on its own is a strength for him, because even the person he handed over to in the same state, that's Obiano, cannot stand up now to address an audience and say, I am politically for this or that, because they have things with which they can hold him. So the credibility of Peter is still such that there are people who dispassionately still find him as Peter the Rock, that you are the rock, upon you will I build the future of this nation. So the obedient movement is a movement, and there are still people who, but they got dampened. Members of a number of people, they got dampened, got disappointed by the fact that their votes didn't count. So they felt despondent against, not that they were no longer believing in Peter, but they no longer believe in the system. Peter happens to be the only presidential candidate that even in the Supreme Court, you find out that his deputy, his vice, was entirely with him. So that bond is still there. As for what he can do, Nigeria is a nation where certain people do certain. Then the coalition will not be after. The coalition is still after him because I think Atiku still has a feeling that he could have done better in the election if he had Peter as his vice. But there is still a political dilemma there. Will you see all the political potentials, the administrative vision of Peter, and have him subsumed as a vice to the person of Atiku? But when it gets to the issue of who will be who, that is where it becomes very, very dicey. But as for whether Nigeria still needs Peter now, something in my spirit tells me that Nigerians and Nigeria need Peter more than Peter needs Nigeria. Not just in government, in private sector, he has his investment in banking, I hear in brewery and some other. He's a private sector player. And he could just decide to go on and do his business. But Nigeria needs Peter more than Peter needs the resources of Nigeria. And how it plays out, if we have somebody better than Peter, oh, all well and good, we all will. But for now, from the options that are playing out, if we are sincere about rebuilding the political trajectory of this nation, and you want to think on the platform of South and North, you say, oh, Buhari did it for 8 years, let us queue behind Tinubu, he should not be put out. But if you want the economy sincerely rebuilt, and if you do not want the poverty level of this nation to get worsened, and you do not want the economy that is currently on life support to be taken to mortuary, that's Ward 9.
Yes.
Yes. We need somebody of the frame of mind of Peter. I fell in love with him when we met, not just in Nnewi, but when we met in Asaba. And our meeting in Asaba was very, very accidental. I went to welcome a friend from the airport, and 2 Prado Jeeps came to pick him with his file. He had just gotten into Asaba. And he asked, who are you? Who are you? They said they came to pick him. He said a vehicle was okay for him to get over to Enugu. So you came as a... Is that not waste of resources, waste of fuel? Why do you need 2 vehicles to come and pick him? I saw the simplicity in him. But we have governors currently, we have local government chairmen that have convoys of over 25, 30, 50 vehicles. All are running on fuel. That is huge waste. And one of the greatest problems we have as a nation is that we have an over-bloated government. That is not a true reflection of the state of our economy. And
yes,
we must cut that wastage
by
shrewd administration. In order
Mbaka,
to
I agree with you.
Economy working again.
Mbaka, I completely agree with you. But that is not going to get Peter to Aso Rock. My question is, what can Peter do? No, we know he's the most credible candidate. I think 90% or 75% of Nigeria will say that. But that's not going to put him in Aso Rock. What can he do to get to Aso Rock? That's my question. You know, see, sometimes one of the things, when I run a show called The Next President, and when the kids come, I say the first thing is you have to win election first. So before you can govern, you have to win. So let's start from the beginning. For Peter to save Nigeria, first he has to be ordained. You know, Peter, you are the rock. Yeah, Jesus Christ have to make that pronunciation first. And Peter, when Jesus left, Peter carried on the leadership. It wasn't easy. So I'm asking now, what can Peter do? Maybe, or what can Nigerians do when we say we've done our own part? Like Peter needs to galvanize us to work with him. I said something to somebody. You are not helping me to help you.
By practical networking. By practical networking.
Okay.
He says, show the light and the people will have the way.
Thank you.
For
so like what David said.
For Nigerians.
Yes.
He shows the light and it is for Nigeria to key in. But he needs to practically identify there are problems in this nation. Problem of youth unemployment. problem of a poor housing situation. So he needs to start off identifying this problem and, of course, profiling solutions to them. There is nothing wrong in starting small. Big movements have started small, but over time, people see the credibility in those movements with the networking, and they join. Because I think money is really not the problem.
No.
There are people in diaspora that are ready to form credible movements.
Peter, will we fund Peter today?
Can get better.
Will we fund him? Will we fund Peter? I can tell you that if Peter come out with a project, we will fund it.
Yes.
But we're not going to fund him in his bedroom.
So we need to see a movement
that
can galvanize Nigeria.
What does Peter
and
need to
people
do?
are ready to sacrifice in order to see how that movement can be such a formidable one that can restore power out of Aso Rock. If only that is the gateway to making Nigeria a better place for us all.
You know, you said a big word. There's one thing
I
ask again. What are you going to do? Is that going to go to Peter and go home? Go on.
If you look at what Obi has been doing, in as much that
not again, Asaba. All right, we're going to get Asaba back, but Mary, like we really, I think you approach the issue more technically. Peter need to galvanize us again. You need to make us, show leadership. Peter need to help us to help him. Peter need to give us the little kick. A car, a full car. You see, if it doesn't have a kickstarter, the engine will not start. The car will not take you to where you want to go. The journey that will start you from your village to Abuja, we start with the kickstarter. When you do without that, the car will not get to it will not get to Abuja. So the little thing that started is what we need Peter to do. Until he does that, that car will never start. The rest of the body, the rest of the engine will be useless. And there will be no movement. The tires, no matter how beautiful the tires are, no matter how beautiful the car is, no matter how sound the engine is, if the kickstarter does not start the car, there will be no movement. The way we identify the movement, Peter, will be kickstart it. I always say, where is your government, Peter? Listen. See, if I were to be Peter, I would have had a shadow government. A shadow government working today side by side with the government of Nigeria. And I won't pronounce them shadow government, but I have people working in the Ministry of the Health, people working in education, people, let me bring them back. You understand? A shadow government from Peter would have done this situation since then. In every ministry, Peter will have his own men doing the needful, raising money from home and outside. Nigerians will invest, Peter. Nigeria will even donate. I don't like donation. Nigeria will invest in Nigeria. Let me use the word. Nigeria will invest in Nigeria. Have you seen? We are looking for housing. Nigeria don't have the home to stay. The government can't provide us housing. Peter, be the alternative. We need electricity, Peter. The government can't give us electricity. You know what? Power, the solar panel is so easy now. Be the alternative. Peter, you have the money. We will give you the money. I will end up by saying that the car will not take us to Abuja if the Kickstarter does not start the car. So we need a little Kickstarter for this engine for us to get to Abuja. That's why I don't think Asaba, they don't want to join us right now. I know they would have. I would love to hear the last word from them, but unfortunately, we have to call off the show here because again, I said we will not exceed 1 hour, 30 minutes. We are already 1 hour, 45 minutes. It's exhausting. We can't be doing that all the time. So let's say thank you very much for joining us, Mary. How you doing? And how is Abuja? I know Wike is taking good care of you. Because this was not how you used to look like when Wike came to office. When Wike now became the FCT minister, you are looking better. So you're still not going to praise Wike. What do you want Wike to do for you, Peter? Mary? Can you hear me, Mary? No, maybe
You
can
said
you hear?
I can't get
I
it.
said,
Network is disturbing.
when at the time when before Wike became FCT minister, you were not looking as good as this. Now with Wike as the FCT, you are looking better. You still don't want to praise him. If nobody praise Wike, you should be praising Wike now. I, I still want to give Engineer Machak an opportunity to say the last word before we close the show. I know Mary. I expect Mary to praise Wike. If she refused to praise Wike, so be it. Because Wike, Mary is looking better with Wike. And
Ready.
is that not true, Mary? Yeah.
You said
All
what?
right, listen. They won't let us. They won't let us continue. Mary, at least praise Wike now. Praise Wike now. At least praise Wike. Yeah? Okay, Mary is still not ready to praise Wike. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's where we end the show today. My name is Daddy Prince, and this is Rise and Shine Nigeria. This is a show where we take a look at what is happening. Take a little bit of the newspaper. Today, we take a look at 2027. What are your predictions? Or what are you predicting that it's going to be this or that? To predict is one thing, but to put it to action is another. I've been dragging this platform into one conclusion. And at the end, they agree that still the best candidate out of campaigning would have been Peter Obi. But like I said, you can have the beautiful engine, the beautiful car, without a Kickstarter, that car will not get to Abuja. Maybe Peter needs to start the engine now so that the car can move, the movement can go on to Aso Rock. We need to get to Aso Rock, everybody. We need Peter to start it, and we all need to, of course, do our own part to get this journey to Aso Rock. We can do it. In fact, the biggest mistake is thinking you cannot do it. Then the question is, who is Tinubu? Who is Tinubu? Tinubu is just one person. He can't defeat everybody in the country. So that is where I would say, I'm so tempted to give Asaba and Mary one more chance to say something before I close the show. I've been trying to close the show, but I don't want to close it without letting people say your last word. So can I hear from you before we so? And probably Masha will say something, Mary will say something, and we can wrap up. Is that okay? Can you hear me, Mary?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. So we didn't want to praise your FCT minister for all the good things he has done. At least, yeah, you said he has done some good roads, and you are looking better.
If it's about
Let's
working,
Huh?
no matter how we feel somebody is bad, the person is working, let's see it. It's about working, he's working. You see the FCT minister. That's the kind of person he is. When we talk about working, he has no fear for anybody.
For infrastructure,
trying to
it's
stop
good.
him from a lot of projects. No, he's not stopping. He's working. If that's it. But just I feel like he's not focusing on what he should. If you are the FCT minister, just focus on this place.
And leave
He's having issues in the rivers and other places. It doesn't give him a good name. You get that is the only problem I have with him. Not like maybe he's not working. He's not.
Thank you. That's a good word. That's where to run the show.
Network is.
Mr. Wiki,
Can you hear
do
me?
what you do best. Yes, we heard you. We heard you. And the world heard you. Wiki, do what you do best. Do your work. Even if
I think the
yeah,
network
you
is
might not
telling
be good.
us.
Yeah, you might not be creative
Network
enough
is
to
telling
raise economy, to raise money for your state or for whatever you are, but at least you're spending the money given to you to do infrastructure. Continue to do the infrastructure because that's all you know, sir. I've never heard you do one thing other than infrastructure. Because you have been your DNA is that the money is always coming so you can spend it. No, well, who am I to challenge it? They continue to praise you. But for me, you're a foolish man because only a foolish man will get the whole money and spend it and wait for another money to come. A wise man will put that money into something and it will generate more. But that's not the system. That's not what people have been wired to. You're not trained to do that, and which is bad. But in the absence of that, you do work. Keep constructing good roads. Leave River State alone. That's where we end the show today, my people. My name is Adi Priest, and thank you, Mary, for joining me. And thanks to Asaba, because I've tried to bring you guys in a couple of times. We end the show here. God bless you and stay out of trouble. Till tomorrow, where we'll be here excited again and looking at another critical issue on what Nigeria should be. Don't forget, Nigeria is our hope. I'm not talking of the current state of the Nigerian economy. I always challenge people in the diaspora. If you don't love Nigeria, if you don't want Nigeria, if you die, you're going to join another ancestors. Because where they bury you, now there you go. So your ancestral home now changed immediately from Nigeria to the United Kingdom or to America or to Sweden. It's up to you guys. For those of us that want to go home, this is the right time to align with where we come from and make that place a better place. It is harsh, but you want to wake up from your grave and you say, oh, everybody around you are all white people. And they tell you, where you from? You don't look like one of us. You know, so it's up to you though. Maybe when you die, your skin might change to white. Who knows? So maybe there's no white, no black. But the truth is, they will know each other because the kind of life you live here is what's going to reflect what you do there. Let us try and make Nigeria a better place. We have all the potential to do so. I keep saying, and the world has acknowledged, that our strength is not our natural resources, it's our human resources. We can't all be running to different parts of the world, inconveniencing others. Let them come to us. You know, I remember those days of Ghana must go. Today now, Nigerians are the one inconveniencing Ghana. The same Ghana we asked to go are not telling us to go. What an irony. For those of us in this platform can remember the days of Ghana must go. Today is Nigeria must go. Maybe it's good. And you know what I'm even asking the West? They should deport all of us. Let them deport all of us home. In fact, I will be the first to carry my bag. Send all of us home. We don't want to be, so that we will stay there and deal with it. If we are home, then let's see where people like Tinubu will begin to rape us. Because we will not take it. We will not. I promise you, we will not. Maybe you can keep 10. You will not. You will not. Oh. We've been through so many difficulties here. Some of us have crossed the sea. So when we come back, whatever sea you're going to give to us, we will cross it with you. Thank you very much for joining me. Asaba, I wanted to desperately hear from you guys, but can we just say we end the show now till tomorrow? Thank you and God bless you. Bye for now.
Nigeria Week London 2025. It's time to celebrate the pulse of Africa's most exciting nation. Nigeria Week London 2025 is coming to Hippodrome Theatre from July 24th to 26, 2025, showcasing the best in Nigerian arts, music, fashion, and investment opportunities. Whether you're looking to discover the future of real estate, explore Nigeria's culinary masterpieces, or get immersed in an electric Afrobeat performance, this is the event of the year. You can also join us for a film festival, cultural dance spectacles, and recognition awards. Don't miss out on the business opportunities and cultural experiences waiting for you. Book your tickets now before they're gone on eventbrite.co.uk. Call or text +447 438 893 190 or 080 330 46768 or +447 459 071 747. Visit our website superiorradioandtelevision.com. Nigeria. SRTV. Innovative content.